Okay, let me explain what I mean by this, okay? Because I know some will say no, but the more conscious you get, the more you can connect with everybody in essence. Yeah, that's a nice thing to do. I'm talking more on practical level though. The more, at least in my life, what happened is the more I started to, my consciousness started to like open up, the more downloads I started to get, the more of, subtle perceptions I had of how things work, of my motives and why I do certain things and what's the hidden agenda. If you go all the way to the end, where's the hidden agenda? Why am I going to do what I'm going to do? Having clarity on that level, and then to share with somebody and have them understand and maybe even reciprocate it and not get offended and not have an ego and not play this one up on each other game. Okay, that's what I'm saying is rare to have that. Now, when I was just collective, mainstream based, ego, as a teen, well, even then, I was never really like that, like full on. But let's pretend I was. I was in some lifetime. People who are like that, they can get along with anybody because everybody's like that. If 80% of the world's like that, maybe 90, well, you just step outside and you can just start talking about the weather or talk about how he or she did this and that to this person, just all the gossip, all the low level talk. Like, it's just easy to do. You can have camaraderie, like, easy. It's not deep camaraderie. Well, for them it is. But for a being who's has more depth and really knows what it is to have intimacy and union with another being, doesn't have to be, I can have that with the guy. I'm talking about physical sex. You can have that with anybody. When there's a vulnerability inside, and when you're sharing, man, on some of the deepest existential points that we have the capacity to understand, at least given this limited human construct, when you can share that and they get it, it's like a nice like synergy. That's union. That's sex. Actually, sex means union. I'm saying that is rare. Most people, they get upset so easily. They're unstable inside. They don't know what it's like to be alone or with themselves. They haven't went through any real, trials and tribulations and suffering to get driven to their core. So, like, they can't relate with you. It used to bother me. In the day when I was like macking, and I'd see the girl, she'd see me. I just think this whole thing's funny. And then I was at the gym listening. I like listening at the gym, the way the guys try to get the girl, and the way the girls like the attention, but nobody cares about each other. It's just all silly. But when I was more into that, but not that bad, we would be talking. Okay, we'd talk, and I would immediately always feel disappointed that I couldn't connect on this deeper level. She'd smile. Like, girls are good at being nice. I like that part. I like that. For a while. But she'd yeah, okay, okay. But then I could tell after that. That doesn't have to be with girls. It can be with friends or anybody. But I could tell shortly after that nothing I was sharing was landing. Nothing was landing. And then I got disappointed, and then I started to feel like lonely, basically. And this is the fuel that drives someone to really find, for that slogan to become true in your life, which is, you and God are a majority. It just has to, like, there's nobody else going to give you that. There's nothing else going to give you that. And as that starts to develop more, this seeming relationship between you and God, non-duals will say, "Oh, but you're already one." Yes, yes, we're already one for sure. But the appearance of the relationship, as that strengthens, then you might find, see, God works all this out. He takes care of your human basic needs also. Doesn't just say, "Oh, you just find me and forget about everything else." No, you'll have food, you'll have money, you'll have maybe a friend or a girlfriend, or if you can't have any of that, maybe you'll get some kind of creative expression to express to help burn this life force up a little bit, because you're like full on preserving your semen. And so so you don't get restless. You have to like burn this up, and then somehow that will give you some camaraderie just doing that. It won't be necessary to have this deep talk, and but if you have a dormant karmic desire to know what that feels like to have a deep talk with somebody, then God will satisfy that too at some point. But then it won't be a big deal anymore. The first time I experienced that, because I didn't have it growing up. I mean, I didn't party. I stopped smoking weed at 16, and I never liked alcohol because it tastes like piss for me. Somebody said once, I said that before. They say, "How do you know what piss tastes like?" I said, "Yeah, I did urine therapy. Actually, piss tastes better for me than alcohol, at least my piss." All right, did we lose focus? Nah, man. How am I going to lose focus? So maybe I did. That's the price. That's the price I got to pay to do my little thing that I like doing, because it makes me feel good. I like having fun too. So I'm gonna pretend like we started over, and I'm just gonna start shooting again. So we're talking about how you feel alone and stuff. Yeah, see, I remembered. So I didn't have that growing up, this camaraderie. But I wanted to experience. I want to taste it. Like, I wonder what it's like. But I didn't want to do the stereotypical partying. Yeah, let's get drunk, oh yeah, fight. So I ended up finding the plant medicine. When I went to Pisac, Peru, that was the highest concentration, at least up to that point, of people I found who like did plant medicine, and we could have real conversations, deep. I was like, this is cool, and that satisfied that karma of wanting to know, like, what is that like. So I'm saying, if God put that desire in you, He'll fulfill it. But then after some time, I realized, you know what, that this is still limited though. This is how creation's created. Everything out here is going to be limited and dissatisfy you after a while. Nothing's going to be like oh, this really does it. Not if you're really sensitive. There'll always be something inside that's like yearning for something more. I don't care how good the relationship is or the friendship. You're not going to experience the ultimate union that you'll experience when you're connected inside with the source. And it's an evolution. How are you going to do all this in one lifetime, you say? It's impossible. But those who are really tuned, who are drinking this message I'm delivering, then you must be there, right? Because like something in you recognizes and resonates with this. Okay, good. So another thing I found, yeah, this was interesting. when I would go out to places back in the day, and when I see people going out now to places, I don't know, raves or parties or some kind of music concert, or just it's like the two so-called friends, they're really using each other. They're there in that event or environment for the sense stimulation, for the dopamine hits that they're getting from that environment. They just brought somebody along with them just to kind of ground them and make them more secure so that they can enjoy the sense stimulation more. You see, it's like the sense stimulation in the event, that's the primary objective. Having your so-called friendship, that's secondary. See, for me, it's opposite. It's been like that for a while. Like me and my partner, my friend, we went to a convention, I don't know, a couple months ago, 12-step convention. We didn't really care so much about the convention. I mean, the convention's cool. I like the energy field. I like people who get together, who want to improve themselves, and it's good energy. But still, that's secondary. Primary was us. We go somewhere and we have satsang like this. We sit here and then we talk, we watch the circus and everything. That was just like the place, the setting of where the satsang took place. You see? It's been like that for me for a long time. We could go to a nightclub if it wasn't too loud, And I could do the same thing. It doesn't matter about the. I'm not interested in the dopamine hit. I'm interested in the secretions that get released when I'm having a satsang with somebody who gets it. The other thing is, I found, even if the person don't get it, if they can't reciprocate what you're sharing, or they're not at that point in evolution, if there's humility there and there's not ego and there's an openness, that's just as good. Females usually embody that nature more than a guy. They trust you. They're soaking in what you're saying. Somehow it's aligning with them. It's just the actual expression of it isn't yet there. Who cares? At least you feel your words are landing. I can tell immediately in a group, anywhere, if I'm speaking, if my words are landing or not. Because if they're not landing, I'm finding it's hard to speak, and I'm getting tired, and I'm like, I want to leave. But when there's openness, man, it's just, I start saying things that surprise me, right? Because the God's doing it. But there needs to be a conducive atmosphere. Yeah. All right, this was a good video. I'll see you.